Here's what I can talk about. Listen up, listen up. Look at this, look at this. We need to talk about this right here. I hate to say it, but League is possibly too balanced now. I miss broken brainrot builds, I miss building 5 black levers, and I miss 99% ban with Kassadin. I'm advocating for a Riot unbalanced team. This tweet kinda blew up today. A lot of people are obviously fed up with the staleness of League, which is something that a lot of content creators, including myself, has already mentioned is a big issue. The reason why this is a big issue is because Riot has done nothing, right? When the offseason happened, they basically, what? They made Grubs only spawn once, and they changed the Autocan into only one form. Sure, like they did some small changes, but those changes are not very impactful on the game, and also I would say they simplify the game too much. Like in my opinion, the previous version of Autocan, where you killed the Autocan and then you had to pick up the flowers, was way more interesting than the current one, which is just, it's like killing any other objective. I would much rather have that version of Autocan in, but as Riot always does, they always try to make the game easier for noobs, and that's probably why they decided to go for an easier version of Autocan, right? But besides the point, Riot Froxon here replied, "Lol, we're suffering from success. Do you actually miss it though? It was turbo OP. I'm not sure, actually I didn't read this yet. I'm not sure, to be honest. It's a good discussion nevertheless. People have complained to me that the game feels stale and bland when balanced so tightly, but at peak chaos people complain Riot didn't do good enough. Lose-lose scenario. So, unique interactions like Protoss and Gale Force I enjoyed. It just seems the game at a high level is very predictable and builds, unless their bows are also stale and don't feel meaningful or authentic to the champion. It's not as though I actually miss facing obnoxious strategies of champion, but I did feel somewhat fresh having new craziness every few patches with an outrageous strategy to exploit. I had a problem to solve." So I think this is a big hope, and I'm gonna explain why. So this is my response here. I don't think the game is too balanced, but rather too bland. Items are oversimplified, runes haven't had meaningful updates in ages, and objectives all feel the same, and patches barely shift anything in high MMR. I only wrote like 4 examples that are very soft, but I could have also written stuff like, while individual skill expression is that, for example, right? Or laning phase is completely irrelevant because of the way you change minions and because of the way home guards work when you spawn and shit like that. I could have easily added way more reasons, but I kept it short, right? Anyway, I think this is cope. The reason why this is cope is because there's no such thing as too balanced. Like, is the game even balanced right now? No, it's not. Like, look at high, look at pro play. There's still a meta that people follow. There's still like champions that people think are insanely unbalanced, right? Sure, you could argue that there's more stuff valuable right now than it has been in the past, maybe, but the game is still not even close to being balanced. Come on now. Like, look at pro play and how much of a big of a problem Azir is right now. These champions pick or ban every single game of Fearless, and the reason why you don't even talk about pro play problems as much anymore is because Fearless is masking the issue. That's why people think the game is too balanced right now. Because of Fearless, it's masking the issue in pro play and in high elo. But it doesn't matter. So basically, this cope here that like you miss 99% of ban rate Kassadin, you don't. Trust me, you don't. Nobody does. If that shit was in the game, everybody would complain until that shit would be gutted. We should be happy that nothing is as fucking crazy and disgusting as 99% ban rate Kassadin. This is complete cope take. And also here, the mythic items, right? We're mentioning, where is it? Gale Force and Protoss Claw. 2 items that were objectively bad for the game. Come on. The 2 items that were completely warping champions' identities. Like really, ADCs getting free flash and free ignite in an item. Renekton and Rek'Sai, champions that were, their weakness was supposed to be prone to being kited, having a free dash on their kit. And we think that was good for the game? Please fuck no. Obviously, like, most of the time, the people who want mythic items back are obviously bruiser players or ADC players, because guess what? They had the best items in the game at that point. Of course they want them back. Especially AD carry players. AD carry players went from having the best items in the game during Mythic era, which they complained that there were bad items, by the way, back then, because AD carry players are delusional, and now they have the worst items in the game, and they're complaining. Which is fair. You can complain now, you shouldn't complain when the Mythic item system was in the game. You guys had the best items. But, yeah, it's not the problem. The game is not too balanced. Trust me, it's not even close. This is just scope. The problem is the game is stale for many reasons. Items are way too oversimplified. Like, why did we make Horizon Focus a simple item? A boring stat stick, right? You could argue that mage items are the best items right now in the game, like in terms of how the system is designed and stuff. You could argue that, right? Probably, maybe it's like top 3 for sure. But you know, items are just simply too oversimplified. We have like barely any active items and stuff like that. Runes have not been changed in a long ass time. Laning phase is completely irrelevant. The objectives are way too stale because they're the same all the time. The new version of Atakan, Giga boring, Jog has been the same, Grabs are boring, Baron's now pushed to 25. Camps, jungle camps have been the same for a long time already. The way supports play, the same. Individual skill expression, all time low. Game is a lot about late game. Yeah, I don't know. Well, and also like the patches, they don't do anything. I say this every time I look at the patches. The patches don't do anything unless they turbo buff Azir and now he's like #1 pro play champ again. Patches just don't do anything. They 80% of changes every patch are actually for average players, not for high elo players. So you barely move anywhere in high elo. Also, one thing that I do have to criticize Riot is like, for example, they removed the mask build recently, right? You can't stack the build masks anymore. I think they should have kept that in the game. Because that build was bad anyway. Stacking masks was not good. So why remove it? It wasn't good anyway. If it was actually OP, then they should have just removed it. But it was shit.